Didik TV KPM.
And you are now back on Didik TV KPM watching the level 1 slot, and together we are learning English for year 1. And with me is Mr. Mah. Mr. Mah has been talking to us about shapes.
That's
shapes
right.
all around us. So yeah, Mr. Mah,
Yeah.
so I'm sure there are a lot of shapes here. And are we going to play a bit of a game right now?
Yes. In this segment, we are going to play with shapes. Okay, but first, let me introduce what a tangram is. Okay? Actually, a tangram is a puzzle which consists of 7 pieces of smaller shapes. Right? We have 2 large triangles. Okay, they are the large triangles. And then we have 1 medium-sized triangle. Okay, medium-sized triangle. And we have 2 small triangles. Right? So they are all together 5 triangles, 2 large, 1 medium, 2 smalls. We also have a square and a parallelogram. Okay, so this is a tangram. What we are doing in this section is I would like you to read some simple instructions and play with the tangram. Okay, so let's look at an example on how to make a bird. Okay, how to make a bird. So these are the instructions. Okay, how to make a bird. First, use a large triangle, a square, and a small triangle to make its body. Then use a medium triangle to make its head. Use a large triangle and a small triangle to make its wings, and use the parallelogram to make its tail. So now, our pupils on Google Meet, and maybe Hanif as well, let's play with it. Okay, let's try to make the shape of a bird using this tangram following the instructions. So first we need a large triangle, a square, and a small triangle to make the body. So how can we do it? Okay, so let's try. We have the large triangle, okay, the small triangle, and a square perhaps. That is to make the body. Okay, you can try it at home, pupils on Google Meet. Okay. And we use a medium triangle to make the head. Okay, let's see. The head of the bird.
So I've already used the first line.
Yes.
Mr. Mah used a large triangle, a square, and a small triangle to make its body. Now we're going to make the head.
The head, yes. And now the wings. We need the large triangle as well as the small triangle to make the wings. Okay, let's be creative. Let's be creative and think, how does a bird look like? And finally, the parallelogram as the tail. So, this is my version of the bird. What about our pupils on Google Meet? Okay, can you try playing with that? Oh, I see Hanif is trying his best as well to play with it.
Staying very focused on creating this bird.
Okay,
right.
So, now let us see our friends answer on Google Meet. If you are done, can you please show us? Right. Okay, so we have got the medium triangle as the head, the large triangle, the square, and the small triangle as the body, the parallelogram as the tail, and also a big and small triangle as the wings. Okay, did you get it as well, Hanif?
I believe I got it as well, Mr. Mah.
Right.
Resplendent with colors of birds here, including our pupils at home.
Okay, so now let's try to ask our pupils to do it on their own by reading these instructions. Okay, shall we? Now, the question is how to make a cat. So please read these instructions. Okay, my pupils at home. And can you please try? So first, use 2 large triangles and the medium triangle to make the body. Use a square as his head. Use 2 small triangles to make its ears. And also use the parallelogram to make its tail. So pupils on Google Meet and also pupils at home, please try to do it. Okay, read the instructions carefully and use the tangram to make the shape of a cat. Okay, so should we try that?
Yes, I'm exploring it right now, Mr. Mah, and I hope I'm getting it right.
It's okay. I think there are many different ways of doing it. So as long as we are, let's imagine, let's be creative and think about what's the best way to do it.
I think my cat has one of its ears dropped though.
There you go.
I think I'm done with my cat. How are the pupils at home? How are pupils on Google Meet? Wow, I think you're all very focused. Oh, wow. We already see Mingwei's cats there. And we're Serena. There's a nice cat.
So they are ready, aren't
Yeah, looking all regal. Yanxi's cat is sitting and standing. And of course, Jingxi. Oh, nice. Your
Okay,
cat
so now let's look at that. Oh, they have different types of cats. They are very creative.
seems to be hugging. Opening out its arms.
Okay, so but let's check. Do they have the square and the small triangles as the head and ears? Yes, they've got it. Okay. Have they got the two large triangles and the medium triangle as the body? Yes, all of them got it as well. And also the parallelogram as the tail. Correct. Very well done. Okay. So those are the shapes. Okay. You can use the shapes to make a cat. And we see, haha.
Ta-da!
We have different types. Mine is like this. Okay, Hanif, and theirs are different. So we can use the tangram, the shapes to make different patterns, okay, by reading the instructions and just be creative, okay? So in this part, we learn to read instructions and also do it. And finally, let's try one more, shall we?
Let's try one more.
How to make a swan. Now, these are the instructions. Let's see whether our pupils can make it. Okay, first, use two large triangles and the medium triangle to make its body. Use the parallelogram and a small triangle to make its neck. Use the square to make the head and also a small triangle to make the beak. Okay, the beak of a swan. Now let's see whether our pupils are able to read the instructions to understand it and also make the swan.
Right, so I'm also crafting my swan here. I'm keeping in mind the instructions which says two large triangles and the medium triangle to make its body. I think I'm almost done, Mr. Ma.
You're almost done.
I'm almost done. There you go. Oh, my
What
swan
about
is...
the pupils? Are they ready? You see, Serena is done.
Serena is done. Well done.
Yes.
It's very quick.
Okay, and they are still, the rest, they are still. If you are done, can you please show us on the screen? Okay, well done, Serena. Okay, let's check Serena's answer. Has she got the two large triangle and the medium triangle as the body?
That looks like it.
Yes. The parallelogram and the small triangle as the neck. That's right. The square as the head and also the small triangle as the beak. Well done. So Jingxi,
nice.
Mingwei, Serena, and also Yanxi, all of them got it. Well done. Let's give them a clap and a star as well.
Do we give them stars?
Yes, please. We do give all of them 3 stars for trying and for 8
stars for each of you. We're doing this star cheer.
Yay! And they are able to read the instructions and play with them. All right, so that's what we learned in this segment, Hanif.
Yes, and I think I have a bit of a variety there where my swan is looking up.
Yeah, it's looking up.
Oh, regal, looking and beautiful. And of course, there are so many more shapes that we can do, so many more shapes, so many more perhaps animals or shapes of houses that we can do with tangrams, where you can play with all these small shapes, yeah? And pupils at home, if you have a tangram there, or you could even maybe draw it out. Can they draw it out?
Yes,
Mr.
they can draw it out, they can cut it, and then they can play with it.
Yes, definitely. So continue to play with that because we're going to take a short break, explore your mind, explore your imagination while you play with tangrams. We're going to take a short break. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned with us on D-Date TV, KPM.